interesting. I don't know what this game is about. Only seen from like the trailer. But supposedly it's dramatic. So I'll say it is in progress. Please don't exit the game or turn off the power. The game includes occasional plots. When spooked, please scream loudly and disturb your neighbors. Oh my god, really? Oh! Now I'm scared. Occasional blood plots. When spooked, please scream loudly and disturb. Oh, now I'm scared. To guarantee the best experience, please pick a dark night. Make some hot coffee. Have the tissues ready. Plug the mouse in and put on your headphones. Then, start your adventure. I'm not ready. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me there's gonna be possible spooks. Does that mean possible spooks? Or... Because let's be honest, I'm not ready for that. Because if I have to... It's like late at night, it's like 10:30. Please don't give me spooks. Okay, let's see. Now let's have it full screen. Full screen. Who am I? Oh my god, there's a lunatic level? Are those crying tissues? Or I don't know what kind of tissues they are. I hope they're just crying tissues. And not anything complicated. Are you not feeling this type of game? There will be hints given in red text to help you navigate through the levels. You may change the difficulty at any time. I kinda want normal. Because I'm not that crazy to die. There was an urban legend. Write your troubles down on a note. Hold it in your hand at midnight and pray. God, please help me. Then God will hear your plea and change your fate. It was only a legend, though. That has gone viral for a brief period of time. Excerpt from Modern Urban Legends. Ooh. Hold up. Can I? Oh, I guess I can't. There's no tappy. Dots! Ugh, my head hurts. Where am I? What happened? You finally woke up! I've been waiting for so long. I was beginning to worry that you might never wake up. It's a talking dog. And you are... and are you... my pet? My neighbor's dog, Fluffy? Now you're gonna be my pet. My pet? You must stay calm. How dare you call me a pet? Do I look like a pet? Well, yes. I am your servant. Don't you remember? Servant? Servant? What is this talking dog going on about? Am I having a dream? Servant, as in, you could help me fetch the newspaper? Have you lost your memories? Lost my memories? Yeah, you fell down the stairs yesterday. And you passed out. I suspected you might have hit your head. I fell? But it's not hurting anywhere. Anyway, let's both settle down a little bit. Oof. How about a quick test? Now look into my big, beautiful eyes. And tell me, what is my name? Fluffy? Fluffy my ass! Well, I guess you really did lose your memories. My name is Will. Sometimes I go by Willy. Willy? Yes, Willy. Willy. Wonka? No, it's just Willy. I don't own a chocolate factory. Also, don't you know that chocolate is dangerous for dogs? Oh wait, I'm not a dog. Oh boy, seems worse than I thought. Listen to me carefully. I'm not a dog, and you're not a human. That doesn't sound right. We are gods. What? Yes, that's right. We are gods.
How did you know what I was thinking just now?
I'm a god. Of course I know. As gods, it is our job to. It is our job is. Oh, hello, English? It is our job to change the fate of the humans who ask for help. Humans encounter all kinds of trouble in their lives, and sometimes they pray to us, hoping for some kind of miracle, as they call it. We can help them and grant their wishes. Or not. It's up to you, of course.
Wait. Stop babbling so fast. I don't understand what you're saying at all.
I'm not babbling. You're just too slow. You know what? Let's start with the job orientation, shall we? Come over here. It's time to do some work.
Wait. Are we starting already? I still don't have a clue on what is going on. Besides, didn't you just tell me that we're gods? Why do gods have to work? Don't lie to me just because I've lost my memories.
I was not lying. In any case, if we didn't finish today's work, we won't have any dinner tonight.
Fine.
See that small red box? That is a message from the human today. From a human. Oof. Alright, let's see what she has got to herself. Ugh. Oh jeez, this English. Oof, I'm sorry. Alright, let's see what she has gotten herself into this time. There you go.
English. Cuckoo.
I want to go home.
My name is Lee Wen. I'm a senior at Yingnan High School. Today I went to play tennis for the first time since I had moved to my new place at a nearby tennis court. It was a very ill-maintained court, so barely anyone ever used it. The light over the tennis court was maintained by some of the residents themselves. The dim light bulb kept making a buzzing noise. 1, 2, 3. I had just hit all 30 of the balls that I had, so I picked up the now empty basket. I walked to the other side of the court and collected the balls before hitting them all again. No one else was on the tennis court. All I could hear was the sound of the balls hitting my racket and of them bouncing off the ground. The light bulb flickered twice and went out. I picked up most of the balls and left the court. Walking towards a small alley, I had walked through it earlier on my way to the court. The alley was always dark, no matter what time of day it was. I kept humming to myself quietly in my head just to be less scared. I arrived at my apartment when I suddenly realized that my keys were not in my pocket. I tried to think back. I must have left them at the tennis court. If the light hadn't suddenly gone out, I would have noticed that they were not on me. Hello, red line. Well, this sucked. It was too late to go back to the court, not to mention that I might not even be able to find it anyway without any light. A desk lamp was on in the manager's office, as was the radio, but nobody was in there. I stood outside the window and waited for a long time, but Uncle Sun, who was supposed to be on duty tonight, never showed up. The motion sensor lights in the hallway kept turning on and off every few minutes. I was beginning to feel a little scared. A late-night talk show was on. The hosts were talking about the popular urban legend that had also been making the rounds at school too. It said that if you wrote a note to God in the middle of the night, then God would solve all your problems for you. Jing was really into this stuff. Well, if such a God really exists, maybe he or she could help unlock the door for me. Or make Uncle Sun come back to his office soon. Please. Lei Wen.
Or Lee Wen.
Oh, jeez. If the light hadn't suddenly gone out. Would I press start? Because that's the red line right there. The light hadn't gone out. Well, do people always write to gods just because they forgot their keys?
Not always, no. But humans are exceptionally annoying. You'll see a lot more random nonsense of all kinds in the future. Forget about why she asked for help for now. Let's take a look at how we may help her. Now use this pen I just gave you. We can slice this letter into several pieces. I can't even speak. We can slice up this letter though. And we can just putting it together or something. Now see, some of these pieces are black, and some of them are white. To prevent logical chaos, some of these pieces cannot be moved. These pieces are designated in black. Meanwhile, the white pieces can be moved anywhere, with one exception. No white pieces can go past the first or the last piece. Now that you understand the limitations in moving these pieces, you may feel free to move the white pieces around. After you rearrange the white pieces, these events will happen exactly as you want in the human world. If your rearrangement has altered the previous casual links within the events, naturally the ending of the letter will be changed. Well, that's about it.
What? Are you telling me that I could change what has happened to the human by moving these sentences around?
Exactly. Isn't it straightforward?
Oh gosh, that is awesome. Can you do it too?
Only the person who is holding the pen is capable of doing this. Go ahead, give it a try. Once you make your decision, just press OK.
Oh jeez, all I could hear was the sound of the 1, 2, 3. I picked up most of the balls and left the court. Walking towards a small alley, I had walked through it early on my way. Wouldn't it be just... Yeah, okay, so this one will change. Yeah, because I can't move these. These can't be moved. Okay. The alley was always very dark to begin with, and with the light gone, it had become pitch black. I couldn't even see my hands in front of my face. I kept having a feeling that something was going to happen. Scenes from the horror movies and homicide show I'd seen suddenly flashed through my head. Since I was too scared, I turned around and picked another longer way home. The detour was a crowded and lively street. It was full of people hanging out and waiting in front of bars, and a lot of arcades were still open. I was planning to head straight home and go to bed, but I saw the latest version of the stuffed Sir Spotty through the window of an arcade. Hey, there is some text highlighted in blue here.
That means it's a term archived in our dictionary. The human's letters often include some special terms related to their day-to-day lives. These terms will be highlighted. Since we are gods, there's nothing that we don't understand. Therefore, whenever we encounter one of these strange terms, a definition for them will automatically appear in our dictionary. We may either click on the highlighted blue text to see the explanation of that specific term, or browse all the archived terms in the dictionary. By the way, similar to the dictionary, we also keep a record of the profiles of everyone who has written to us. All you need to do is click on their header pictures in the letter selection screen to read all about them.
It is.
Oh wow, being a god is so convenient. A cartoon cat character by British artist Kevin Clifford quickly became a global phenomenon because of its unique style and laser-sharp eyes. Its success lifted Clifford out of poverty and made him a worldwide sensation overnight. According to Kevin, the inspiration of the character came to him during a short trip. Shut up, cat! Whoopsh! Okay, you're free.
Unfortunately, it was not for sale. I had to get out of the claw machine. And I really wasn't good at those. I spent almost all the cash I had on me, but I didn't even come close even once. Miss, we are about to close. Please check your belongings and don't leave anything behind. I lowered my head in disappointment. I noticed that there was a bottle of some kind of drink on the counter that had appeared out of nowhere. Perhaps somebody had forgotten it there. I picked it up and threw it in the trash on my way out. I got home and turned on the light. All of the boxes I had moved in 2 days ago were still lying on the floor. Tomorrow, I'll unpack them. Tomorrow. I'm too exhausted now. At least the shower felt great. I got out of the shower, climbed into bed, and immediately fell asleep. Good night.
Look, Because of what you did, now it's the alley that has a broken light bulb instead of the tennis court. Therefore, the girl would not have left her keys at the dark tennis court. Even though it was only a tiny change, you have indeed changed her fate. More importantly, you might have changed more than what we are seeing right now. The impact of this tiny event could last for a long time, maybe even influence her entire life. Ugh. A chain reaction like this is called the butterfly effect in the human world. We still can't be certain of how big the impact to our future is going to be. But keep in mind that our power has potentially dangerous side to it. We must never abuse it.
I understand.
Well, we are done with this letter. Let's go back and see if there are more.
God, that's scary. Being a god is so easy.
Don't get too excited. You still have a lot to learn. I have fetched the letters for you up to now. From now on, you should be getting your own letters. I have placed a mailbox at the bottom left corner of the screen. I can't even speak. The screen. Oof. If the flag is up by the mailbox, it means that there are new letters inside. Did you hear a sound like ding ding just now? That's the new letter notification. Whenever you hear it, it means some new letters have arrived. If you processed all of the letters at hand, then go check the mailbox.
Got it. The last words, I'm sorry. What? Oh, and it's a boy, I'm guessing. Hold on, let me eat my food. Oh shit, I feel like with this, like we're God and we can determine the fates of people. I feel like there's gonna be parts where I'm just gonna be like, no, how could I fuck this up? And of course, there's the butterfly effect. Which I'm like, I'm gonna regret this so hard. Oof.
Okay.
There's another one from her? First, let's do this guy first. What? Oh, it's connected. What? Let's do this one.
Sometimes we might see multiple messages from 2 or more people at the same time. Why do humans have so many problems? In cases like this, you have to read through both messages in one breath before we can start working on them. What are you doing?
I'm trying to see how long I can hold my breath. I don't think I could finish 2 letters in one breath.
It's just a metaphor.
Well, what should I do to find the other letter after reading the first one?
After reading one letter, you might see the next letter option. Whenever you need to switch between the 2 letters, just use the next letter to switch back and forth.
Okay, I'll start now.
Oh god, since it's a boy. Oof. It had been 10 years. I had been cursed since the incident. Every time I picked up my paintbrush, my mind would start tormenting me, wreaking havoc. Oof. For 10 years, I hadn't been able to paint anything. I was suffering, and I deserved it. By now I had spent all my savings, yet I was still alive. A friend was kind enough to set me up with a teaching job at his high school, teaching the art class. I would start tomorrow. I wasn't particularly well paying. It wasn't particularly well paying, but for someone who had been living without power, water, or heat in his apartment, it was like a burning pit of charcoal in the middle of a blizzard. I was really grateful to my friend. Ironically, I had just bought myself some charcoal earlier today. I thought I might be able to leave something worthwhile to the world as a painter before I died. Yes, I wanted to make one of those final masterpieces. I set up my easel. 1 hour passed. 2 hours. 3 hours. I had to put down the brush. Even if I managed to paint something, how would it be different from all the other garbage in this room? It would just be another piece of soulless trash, just like me. All trash. I poured the coal into a basin and put it on the bedroom floor. I put on my best clothes. I carefully made my bed. And I lit the coals. I tried the doorknob and realized that the door was not locked. I chuckled. That was careless of me. I double-checked all the doors and windows, making sure that all of them had been locked and sealed. I couldn't take any chances. I laid down on my bed. All I could see was her face. Here I come, honey. Sorry for making you wait so long. God, I am ready. Please take me away. When Jaren?
Man! Why does it have to be this on the second letter? Next letter. The apartment building I had just moved into was quite old. I didn't have an elevator, so I had to climb the stairs every day. Oh no, why are you playing spooky music? That's not cool. As usual, it was already past midnight when I got back from tennis practice. I noticed something at my door as soon as I walked into the 4th floor hallway. Was that a bouquet of roses? And the Sir Spotty toy I had seen in the arcade a few days ago. Oh no! No! Stalker? I had a sudden sinking feeling of anxiety. I had been getting strange emails starting the day before yesterday. This was the first one. I've been watching you for some time. Write back to me. Oh god. I'm spooked. At first, I thought maybe someone had sent it to the wrong address by accident. Or it could have been some random phishing email, so I didn't pay any attention to it. But the next day, I had received another one. Please write back to me. I had no idea what those weird symbols mean, and whoever written these emails seemed to think that we knew each other. My cell phone suddenly buzzed in my pocket. I had a new email. I clicked on the email app with a shaking finger. Oh no, it's creepy. We shall finally meet soon. I couldn't understand those symbols at all. Why? I'm getting so scared. Good night, Raiden. I couldn't understand those symbols at all, but the words in the middle. All of a sudden, I felt a chilling feeling on my back, as if I was being watched by someone or something. But my body had frozen up. I didn't dare turn around. I looked into the reflection in the glass of the window in front of me, trying to see if there was anything behind me. There wasn't. I was just being paranoid. Still, I decided to go spend the night at Jing's place just in case. I walked towards the staircase, but then I heard it. Footsteps, coming upstairs, closer and closer. Who could it be at this late hour? Could it be the one who had written those emails? I immediately turned around and ran back towards my apartment. But I lived alone. What if they broke in? He would force me into a corner, pull a chainsaw out from behind him, and cut me into pieces. Oh god, no. I stopped at the door of my neighbor, room 414. I choose you. Help me. No matter how hard I knocked, nothing happened. I tried not to cry so much that I wouldn't be heard, but tears were already streaming down my face. Calm down, Li Wen. The footsteps stopped at the 4th floor, and were now moving towards me. It made a turn, and there was only one more turn between us. It was too late for me to hide in my own apartment now. I held my tennis racket up. I swung it down as hard as I could with my eyes closed when the person arrived at the corner. The person I had hit wobbled and fell down the stairs. It was Uncle Sun. He seemed to be just going around the building and picking up the trash. Uncle Sun was laying on the ground. He was not moving at all. Oh my God. What have I done? God, please help me. Please, please. Lei Wen. Oh my God, I got spooked for no reason. Nothing happened. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to do this part. It's gonna be interesting.
When there is more than one letter, the white pieces can be moved left and right as well, in addition to going up and down. Since it will impact the fate of both people, you must be careful. You must be careful when making your decisions.
That's literally the only thing I could do. Yeah, because then it takes that away. Hopefully this works.
God, I am ready. Please take me away. What was that noise? I struggled to sit up in my bed. My head felt like it was going to explode. Damn it. Just a little longer. God would have taken me. Whoever had made that noise, be it a burglar or a utility guy, I would never forgive them.
Excuse me, sorry for the intrusion. I sneaked into my neighbor's apartment. It was completely dark inside. It smelled funny. It was so hard to breathe in this apartment. I wonder who would live in such a place. I shut the door right behind me. I accidentally knocked over some jars that were shelved next to the door. They made a very loud sound. Still, nobody responded. I suppose there really wasn't anyone home. I looked out from the peephole while I held my breath. A thin old, humpbacked man walked by the door, with empty plastic bottles in his hands. It was his Uncle Sun, the manager. Phew.
This one was easy too. As Shakespeare once said, security is mortal's chiefest enemy, which would mean that overconfidence is a man's greatest enemy.
Shakes. What? Who?
Shakespeare. He is one of the greatest writers in human history.
Overconfidence is man's greatest enemy. Well, but I am no man.
Okay, then do you know how to write this person's name in Chinese?
Blue?
Idiot. It's written as bleh.
Okay, I get your point.
It's only easy because you are just getting started. You'll see soon enough.
What does that yellow star mean?
When you see a yellow star, that means you have unlocked all of the possible endings of that particular event.
Oh, should I try to collect all of the yellow stars?
Oh no, that won't be necessary. Our job is just to help the humans with their troubles. No matter how many times we try or how many endings we unlock, for the humans, there is only one ending to each story that we will never know. They will never know. Whew. So it doesn't really matter whether or not you unlocked all of the endings.
In that case, what is the star here for?
Well, I know you're asking me, but to be honest, I don't really know either.
One letter. Oof. Farewell. Why? My dude. Why?
Somebody had ruined my plan. Damn it. I sat up and I could barely stand. The entire room was spinning, and I felt so nauseated that I almost threw up. Just a little longer. I could have seen her again. The room was completely dark since I hadn't been able to pay my utility bill for a while. I lifted my foot and tried to take a step, but I tripped over my easel. The brushes and paints fell all over the place. I crouched down and slowly started to pick them up again. It took me a while, as I was so exhausted. I put out the fire and opened a window. I stumbled upon my flashlight and pressed the button. Boom! I heard a deafening explosion. Was that a gas explosion? I thought I saw a slender figure of somebody fall down in the fire before I passed out.
Typical gas explosions are caused by a drastic expansion of volume caused by the heat and additional gas produced during the burning. The concentration of a particular combustible gas or vapor necessary to support its combustion in air must be within the range known as flammable range for that gas or vapor. Not enough fuel if it's too low, and not enough oxygen if it's too high. For instance, the flammable range of carbon monoxide, CO, is between 12% and 75%. Concentration of flammable gases in our daily life are typically lower than the flammable range. However, coal burning or indoor gas leaks could still cause the dangerous gas to reach that range. The presence of an ignition source could trigger the explosion immediately. Sources include candles, lighters, stoves, as well as possible sparks that are generated by electricity, such as turning on a flashlight, ringing of a bell, or opening a fridge. Common combustible gases include natural gas, methane, and carbon monoxide.
I thought I saw a slender figure of somebody fall down in the fire before I passed out. When I woke up, a doctor told me that there was a 17-year-old girl who had been sent to the hospital along with me. She hadn't made it. Fortunately, however, I was still alive. I had third-degree burns all over my body. I lost my right arm and I couldn't speak. I couldn't even do something as simple as to ask what the girl's name was. God, why? Why didn't you just kill me instead? Wen Zhaoren.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
I heard a deafening explosion. Okay, I can't turn that on.
Shit. Could it have been that? Shit, I'm trying to figure this out. Which one's the best way? The room was completely dark since I hadn't been able to pay my utility bill for a while. I put out the fire and opened a window. I lifted my foot and tried to take a step, but I tripped over my easel. The brushes and paints fell all over the place. I crouched down and slowly started to pick them up again. It took me a while as I was so exhausted. I stumbled upon my flashlight and pressed the button. I feel like that might be the better way of doing this. Because, as we read, he needed to let out the light, the air before he turned on the flashlight. Right? I'm guessing. That's my idea right there.
That's what I sense within my body.
Because that's like the only way. I think. Oh god, I wouldn't know. I'm hoping that's what It is, but I don't know. I feel like that might be the ending. Ooh! It's the only thing that makes sense to me, because he turned on the flashlight and then boom. Everything kind of went crazy. So it had to be that. It had to just be that. Oh god. I'm gonna go with this then. I'm hoping that does it. 2, 1. Who's there? I pressed the button on my flashlight in a hurry, and the white light almost blinded me. Ah! I saw a shadow fall to the ground. I quickly turned my light toward the sound and saw that it was a girl that I had never met before. I checked to see if she was still breathing. She was. I remembered a school picnic during my junior high years. I had done the same thing to scare a girl in my class. She didn't faint, even though I had done it intentionally. Kids today are so weak. I carried the girl into my ventilated bedroom, laid her down on my bed, and pulled a sheet over her. I went back into the living room and picked up my paintbrush. I tried to remember her panicking face when she saw me. I suddenly had a new feeling. A feeling that I could paint something special this time. Yet, I just fell asleep with the brush in my hand while leaning against the wall.
Wow, that was scary. I don't want to see anything else like that ever again. Well, if you don't want to see it again, you can. If you do want to see it again, you can. While you're reading a letter, click on the replay to review the entire letter again. Although, why can't we see all these images? Aren't we just reading their letters? Technically, we are not actually receiving handwritten letters from the humans. You could think of these letters as a manifestation of their will. That's why I would include more than a text you are reading. Sometimes you will receive the images of what they see, or even how they feel. Wow, that's amazing.
Hooray! We did it. Oof. Thank god. But I feel like I might have fucked up.
How did you feel?
Everything felt so unreal. Am I really a god? Have I always been living here? And has the sky outside always been so red? It's even snowing outside. The weather is so weird. I have no memories of any of this. Is any of this real?
Of course. Don't worry about it. Your memories will come back to you slowly. Anyway, don't you think this job is perfect for you? And it isn't too hard either, is it?
That's true. It is more interesting than I thought.
While it is interesting indeed, it is also rather serious. From now on, I won't repeat myself anymore. Some of my previous instructions can be found in the help menu. The content in the help menu will also grow as you learn more about your job. Although, you might not be able to find everything you need in there. For instance, if you forgot, or didn't pay attention to what I've told you, you might never be able to hear it again. So, the truly important information, as you can see here, will be highlighted in orange text. Things in orange text are extremely important. When you see something in orange, you should slow down your reading and pay it extra attention. Now, answer fast.
Which one of the following words were highlighted in orange in what I just said? Oh shit. Extremely important?
Extremely important. See, I knew this was going to happen. You have to remember the importance of these orange text. As long as you pay attention to them, they'll be very helpful in completing your tasks. In other words, if you don't, you're unlikely to get stuck in some of the more challenging tasks. We're going to restart the game now to teach you a lesson, so that you understand how serious I am. Oof. Haha, you forgot to save your progress. What a shame.
No! You have to restart the game all over again.
Not. I was just kidding. Quick, say thank you before I just said saved. Because I just saved you. Haha. Slot 0 of the load page at the bottom left corner is an autosave. It will take you back to the most recently autosaved data point. Well, that's all for now. We'll say goodbye for a moment. I hope I see you again soon. I'll be here waiting. Bitch. What the? Hello? That was mean.
God, there's so many. Oof. That's just spoopy, though. Don't give me this image again. Oof. There's other stuff. Oh, this picture, like, spooked me also. Oh, the spoops. Continue from an autosave data. Yes. How dare it do that to me?
How did you feel?
Yeah, everything felt so unreal. Am I really a god? Have I always been living here? And hold up, how do I save? I have no memories of this. La da da da. Of course, don't worry. Perfect job for you. That's true. Interesting than I thought. Da 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 da. Won't repeat myself. Some of my previous instructions can be found in the help menu. So you might never find everything. Opinion to what I've told you, you might never be able to hear again. So the truly important information, as you see here, will be highlighted in orange text. Truly important information. Okay. Truly important information.
Which of the following words were highlighted in orange in what I just said?
Truly important information.
Truly important information, I think. Correct. The orange text may appear not only in my words, but also occasionally in the human's letters as well. The human's letters might include text in other colors too, such as yellow or blue. The yellow text highlight digital messages in a text message or email, while a blue text highlight messages left in a fax or a note. The orange text, however, emphasizes something else. I'll explain to you later when we see it. You won't remember it all if I say too much right now.
Nope. I definitely won't remember any of this.
In the end, you just need to remember that the orange text are extremely important. Now, to make sure that you didn't just make a lucky guess either earlier, we're gonna have another quiz. Which of the following phrases were highlighted in orange text in the previous dialogue, and what is their correct order?
Oh, fuck. Yellow is text messages. Yeah.
Oh boy, I think it's the first one. Oh shit!
You heard of the orange. As long as you pay attention to the... Don't, you're likely to get stuck in some of the more challenging tasks.
No! Don't restart the game on me! You jerk!
Oh, you suck. How do I autosave? How do I even save in general? No one told me how! Yeah, let's start it. Jerk. Ugh. Why do you have to do this to me? I do want to know how to save, though. How do I do this? It would help you. Free forget. Truly important information. Now answer fast. Truly important information. Correct. Woohoo! Might include the yellow text, highlight digital messages in a text message or email. Blue text. Shit. The second one. Oh boy, I think it is. The second one.
Correct.
Phew. Thank goodness.
It looks like you truly mastered what I have taught you so far. You're truly my master. You are truly my master. Aside from the yellow text in normal mode, you will also notice a lot of red text. If you read those words very carefully, you might find some clues that you could help solve you. Hello, words are hard. Find some clues that could help you solve the puzzles. In normal mode, such clues will be highlighted in red. It might help you with your deductions. If you ever find yourself stuck in a puzzle with no idea how to proceed, pay attention to the red text. You will surely be able to get through them. Alright, seems you should do just fine now. And I can make it easy too then. I believe as you go along with your tasks, you'll eventually make the right decisions. Besides, I can see that you already made a choice.
A choice?
Yes, I told you at the beginning that handling the prayers from the humans is our job. However, whether to help them or not, and how exactly you want to change their fates, is completely up to you. I see that you have chosen an S ending for them all. That means you are choosing the path of absolute kindness.
Well, they were asking me for help, so of course I should help them. Are you saying that I should torture them instead?
Not necessarily. I just want to remind you that the path of absolute kindness is not an easy one. Especially when you receive letters from two different people, and you will have to make the endings for both sides an S. Simply achieving an S ending for just one of them won't be good enough. In other words, you have to solve two people's problems at the same time.
I see. Well, I'm sure I can find a way.
Okay then. By the way, I suppose you don't remember your own name either. Your name is Myth.
Myth?
You are a god who can manipulate people's fates through stories and puzzles. That's why they call you Myth. You might not know this yet, but you're actually quite popular in the human world. Some of the urban legends that have been circulating are stories about you.
Wow, I didn't know I was so impressive. Even though I seem to have forgotten a lot of things. And I'm still adapting to all this. I do feel like helping people, and that makes me happy. If I work very hard, could I possibly grant wishes to everyone in the world?
Everyone? Well, you'd be buried by all their letters first. However, if you try your best, you should be able to shape the world a little closer to your liking. Oof, at the very least.
Got it. I'll try my best.
Well, from now on, let me know if you have any questions. After all, it's just the two of us here.
Hello, anime opening.
Oh, this is so pretty. Kitty cats. Oh, doggy stuff.
Let me see what kind of letters we're getting today. My new partner. Oh God, please help me. First day at new school. 20,000 pesos. Here I come. Oh my God, they have so many different languages. There was Chinese. There's Spanish. Whew. Oh, there's multiple mendings for that one. My new partner. Oh shit, they're all connected there. Okay. Okay, good night, Brian. I will try not to screw things up, but who knows? Ugh. Let's create a slot in there. That's how I save. Okay. Profiles. Favorite sport, tennis. Saraswati stuffed ball. At 17, broke into someone's home. The owner did not press charges. Oof. At 35, attempted suicide at home by burning coal in a sealed room. Saved. Huh.
对不起。
I guess since you're a god, you have to help everybody. Okay. This problem was so difficult. I stared at the test and it looked like some kind of ancient curse, torturing my fragile mind. A box of chocolate milk suddenly appeared on my desk. My favorite. I opened it up and started drinking it. It was delicious. Lei Wen, what are you doing during an exam? Thud. Miss Yang pounded her fist on my desk. My eyes went wide. There was no test. No Miss Yang. Not even my favorite drink, chocolate milk. I was lying in my own bed, still wearing the t-shirt I had put on for tennis last night. How had I fallen asleep like this? Suddenly, I remembered that I had found some strange things at my door last night. I carefully opened the door and looked outside. There was nothing. Was it all just a dream? In any case, what time is it? I checked the door on the wall, or checked the clock on the wall, not the door. Oof. It was 9:10. I rushed to school as fast as possible. The second period had just begun. It was tennis class today. Our school was famous for its emphasis on so-called quality education, which meant that unlike other schools, we had classes in stuff like tennis, art, and so on, even for the senior students, so that they could get some exercise or release some of the stress from schoolwork. Not many seniors enrolled in these classes, though. Everyone had bet their whole lives on the upcoming Gyakyo, the National Higher Education Entrance Examination. Oh god. Gyakyo, aka the National Higher Education Entrance Examination, is an annually held national exam in mainland China. Okay, can't even. Oof. All high school seniors and other people at similar academic levels take the exam as an entrance selection process for the higher education institutions. The exams are held every year from June 7th to June 9th, typically including 3 mandatory subjects: literature, math, and English, along with another choice between liberal arts, civics, history, and geography, and engineering, science, physics, chemistry, and biology. The modern Gyakyo was first held in 1977 with 5.7 million participants and a 5% acceptance rate. By 2017, the total number of participants has increased by 9.4 million. and the acceptance rate is 85%. Nonetheless, it is still very hard to be admitted into the top universities. In Chinese culture, going to a good college could change one's fate. While not entirely correct, still dominates the mind of numerous students and their parents. In order to get better grades, even when sick, sometimes there are reports about students who keep studying with an IV attached. Many top high schools in each individual province have also been known to come up with extraordinary strategies in order to send their students into the top 2 universities in China. For instance, Hengshui High School in Hebei Province is infamous for its military-style school administration, and the most well-known super school, Gyakyo Sweet Factory in China, after the fall of its predecessor, Huanggan High School in Hebei Province. Oof, the more you know. However, I still had no idea what I wanted to do in the future. nor what major I would be interested in. I suppose I would just go with the flow. I carried the racket under my arm and ran onto the tennis court. Usually I would just do some hitting practice during the class. Oof, but today I was here with a purpose. Last time I had accidentally hit the knucklehead Rocky from class 3 when I had been practicing my serve. He insisted that I had done it on purpose and challenged me to a match to settle the score. What kind of obsessive, obnoxious man was this? Well, today was the day of our duel. Oof. I had agreed to his proposal with 30 boxes of chocolate milk as a wager. My favorite. We had to play a doubles match for one set, and we got to pick a partner for the opponent. I picked Wang Ying as Rocky's partner first. I'm so bad with all these names. Oof. He was probably the weakest out of all the people present today. My darling chocolate milk. Here I come. Rocky pointed to someone behind me. You'll partner with him then. I turned around, and I saw someone who was looking petrified. Someone whom I had never even met. The stranger introduced himself as Jimmy. He said he had just transferred from Hong Kong today. Huh. A transfer student in the last semester of senior year, and from Hong Kong no less. That was peculiar. Never mind. I needed to win my chocolate milk first. Since he had enrolled in this class, he could be really good. Maybe this would be my lucky day. Just one game later, I realized I had been kidding myself. That sneaky Rocky. He must have known this guy didn't know how to play at all. Wang Qian might be only be a 2.0, but that would make Jimmy a 0.2. He barely even knew how to hold a racket. No matter, for my precious chocolate milk, I'll have to do it alone then. Half an hour later, we were at a tiebreaker. A tiebreak is a scoring system in tennis. A 12-point tiebreak game is played when a set is 6-6. In the additional game, points are counted using ordinary numbering. The player who reaches at least 7 points, but also has 2 points more than the opponent, wins the game and the set. The score was 7-8, their match point. If I could win this next point, I'll still have a chance. Otherwise, I would have to go buy the chocolate milk myself at 7-Eleven. I was standing in the right side in the back. My hat was soaking wet. The sweat was dripping down my ponytail on my t-shirt. Jimmy was standing on the left side of the net, and I could see how he was sweating through the back of his t-shirt, too. Here came the ball. It was aimed at the center of the back court to my left. I squeezed the racket in my hand. A sudden twist of my ankle. Swing! I fell to the ground and I completely mishit the ball. Even worse, I went straight into the back of Jimmy's head. Jimmy fainted. Oh no. Did I just give him a concussion? But I clearly remembered that he was standing much further left, wasn't he? Lei Wen. That was a lot. Let's see what the next letter is.
Oh god.
Oof, let me eat more food.
My name is Jimmy. Today was my first day at Yingnan High School as a senior. I had flown from Hong Kong to Beijing only a few days ago. On my first night here, my suitcase, which held my laptop, still hadn't arrived at the hotel. I was bored out of my mind and decided to go down to the arcade to kill some time. There, I saw a girl with long hair. She had come in the arcade with a basket of tennis balls, and she was sweating from the head to toe. She wanted to get the Sir Spotty doll from the claw machine. I wanted to get it too, but earlier there had been a couple hogging the machine for a long time. Throughout my childhood, my father would always buy me anything I wanted. Whew. Well, I got a burp. It was usually Game Boys, computers, and stuff like that. Nothing outrageous. So I never really understood the feeling of wanting something so bad but not being able to get it. I looked at her from far away. I watched her fail and keep trying, over and over again. Her expression looked so funny, and so cute. I felt a strange urge. I had gone to an all-boys school in Hong Kong, and I also wasn't someone who liked to go out that much. So I had never really met very many girls at all. And I had never learned how to pick up girls. But today felt different. I really thought she was extremely cute, and I had a special feeling about her that I didn't really understand myself. I didn't want to miss the chance of getting to know her. I mustered up all of my courage, and decided to try to get her attention. I wrote down my email and address on a piece of paper. Then I bought a drink and quietly left the cup on the counter of the claw machine, with a note under the cup. Now I just needed to wait for her response. The first night I didn't get an email. It must have been too late. She would write me back the next day, I thought. The second day, all I got was junk mail. The third day, maybe she had lost the note by accident? Maybe she had washed it in her laundry? Maybe I could find out what her email was instead? All I needed to do was to hack into the cashier system of the arcade, and I could get information on all the customers who had paid for tokens using mobile banking. I could get more than just their email addresses, like their real addresses and bank accounts. So I did it. I mustered all my courage again and wrote her an email. Yet, maybe she didn't really use her email. I had told my father that I wanted to transfer to the school. It didn't really matter to him, and the school happened to be quite good too, so he agreed almost immediately. If he had known the truth, he would have slapped me in the face and called me a disgrace. I also found out that she liked playing tennis, so I bought myself a racket immediately. I even finished reading all 42 volumes of that manga series, The Kid of Tennis.
Oh my god, really? Huh. The Kid of Tennis is a Japanese anime comedy series centered around tennis. Playing Japanese. Wait. Tennis playing teenagers. Yep. The series received wild acclaim as soon as it debuted in Japan, and also broke many ratings records in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and other Southeast Asian countries. The hero of the series, Kito Noraku, grows up in an extremely wealthy family, yet he has never had any luck with the girls in school, as he is too introverted. However, his life changes forever when one of his high school classmates, and the girl in his dream, Mizukawa Ryoko, casually asks him, "Do you like tennis?" He makes up his mind and joins the school tennis team to become a great tennis player so that he can impress her and win her over. The unique art style and positive spirit of the series have influenced many generations of young people, and the series has since become a classic. Many kids have grown up idolize Kito no Raku, thinking that they could attract the attentions of their secret crushes by becoming good at tennis. More importantly, the vast majority of them eventually learn an invaluable lesson that everything in an anime series is simply a lie. How dare you tell me the truth?
But I would never have thought that I would get a chance to partner with her in a doubles match on my first day of the new school. And I would almost never realize that everything in the manga was a lie. The only time I ever touched the ball, it hit the referee. Oh crap. I sucked so hard. She must hate me now. We were now in a tiebreaker for the match. I had read about this thing in the manga. Oof. Basically, it was a quick way to decide the winner when both sides had been evenly matched. If it wasn't for me, she would have won. She would have already won easily. The ball was coming again. It was a fast one, and it was flying towards my right side. I was so nervous that my hand was shaking uncontrollably. I tried my best to hold the racket as steady as I could. I took a step to the right. I rushed forward. I took a step to the right, almost out of instinct, but I still let the ball pass. Even if I tried to hit it, it would never go in. From behind me, I heard her hitting the ball. Good job. Before I could finish my thought, a sudden shock of numbness and pain was coming from the back of my head, and I completely blacked out. I was in the infirmary when I woke up. It was already noon. I looked around. There was no one else in the room but the school nurse. Oh, Jimmy. What did you think was going to happen? Hmm? Jimmy.
Ah, jeez. My poor baby's hair. Oof. Okay. Flying towards your right side. Yes, it was. You got hit on the back of the head because you were a dummy-dum. Okay. Stand on the right side of the back. Right side in the back. Left side. Okay, Jimmy. And see, he was sweating through the back of his shirt, too. Swing. You swung it. He did not take that to the right. It's aimed at the center of the court to my left. Oh, jeez. Okay, how am I gonna do this one? I was standing in the right side in the back. My hat was soaking wet, and sweat was dripping down my ponytail and my t-shirt. I could see he was sweating through the back of his t-shirt too. Here came the ball. It was aimed at the center of the back court to my left. I squeezed the racket in my hand, swing. Tried my best to hold the racket as steady as I could. Don't take a right though. Shit, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I could step to the right almost out of instinct, but I let the ball pass. The thing is, if you hadn't taken that step to the right, you wouldn't have been hit on the left. I was so nervous that my hand was shaking uncontrollably. I tried my best to hold the racket as I could. Maybe you should swing. I rushed forward and I took a step to the right. Trying to figure that out. if she didn't swing... Okay, have him swing. Steady as I could, I swing. Okay. You go right. You swing. Fuck! I'm trying to figure this out. To right side in the back, yes, you were. On the left side of the net, I could see that he was there, yes. Here comes the ball. It was aimed at the center of the backcourt to my left. I squeezed the racket in my hand. I rushed forward. A sudden twist of my ankle. This stuff don't happen. She doesn't hit him. But if he took the step to the right and swung, I think he might have been able to hit it. And not fuck up. I mean, she twists her ankle. But he might save the day. Maybe. Right? Is that how it's gonna go? I feel like that might be a good way. Oof.
I feel like that's the only way to save him. Oof. That's so hard.
That's what I'm thinking. Right? Is that how it would go? It's the only way, my dudes. It's the only way. Oh, God.
And no one's gonna help me. I'm on my own. Let's go.
I think this might be the best option is this. It was coming again. It was a fast one. It was flying towards my right. I was so nervous that my hand was shaking uncontrollably. I tried my best to hold the racket as steady as I could. I took a step to the right, and you swing. I rushed forward. Twist your damn ankle. Let's go. Okay. I think. Change it. I swung my racket with my eyes closed. The ball flew over the baseline. It was out. I did overestimate myself. No! The match was over. Ugh, she must be mad at me now. Jimmy took a swing at the ball. The ball flew out of the baseline. Out. 7-9. We lost. I lost. My precious 30 boxes of chocolate milk. Oof. Let's retry that. Let me retry that. No. Okay, shit. Okay, you know what? Fine. You rush forward. You do this. Maybe? It's the only thing I could think of. Even worse, the ball went straight into the back of Jimmy's head. Jimmy passed out. Oh no, did I just give him a concussion? Much further to the left, wasn't he? Oh. Okay. I didn't fix that. I rushed forward. Twist of your ankle. Maybe?
Hi, Nya.
She hit the ball, but it didn't go over the net. We lost. She had done her best. It was all my fault for sucking too much. The ball hit the net and dropped on our side. Shoot, I wish I had hit harder. Okay. I know what I have to do. I know what we have to do. You gonna rush forward. You gonna twist your ankle. You gonna swing. But you're not gonna turn right.
How are you, Nya?
I took a swing at the ball, but I almost tripped. I had to take another step to stop myself from falling over. The tennis ball flew over the net, kissed the baseline, compressed, and bounced up. Then it was stuck in the wired fence around the court. Yep, match point saved. Rocky was such a sneaky bastard. With Jimmy barely able to move, now he was aiming every ball at him. But Jimmy was able to get out of my way almost every time too, even with a twisted ankle. We were coordinating surprisingly well. After a while, Wen King was left standing there too. The game had become a singles match between Rocky and me. Maybe Jimmy was a lucky charm, because we eventually won the game, 15-13. What a great partner. I had won my chocolate milk. Hooray!
Oh god. I fell to the ground, and my ankle hurt like hell. Fortunately, we still won the point thanks to her. Now our opponents were hitting the ball towards me almost exclusively, but Lei Wen was too good. And eventually we won. More importantly, she ran over and high-fived me. I wasn't just daydreaming about this. She really did just give me a high five. Her hand felt so warm. I would never forget that moment.
Happy face.
Hooray! Oh my god. Woo! Oh my god. That was a pain. Okay, everything's all good.
如果时间可以重来，
A new strange letter. What about these guys? I had these guys too. Don't take away their letters from me. 20,000 pesos and here I come.
Oh god. My name is Carlos. I'm 18 years old. It was a big day, because I was finally able to leave Mexico. Uncle Depp, who had always helped me out in the orphanage, and Auntie Benita, who was the matron of the orphanage, used to tell me that if I ever wanted to go to a foreign country, I need to have a passport first, and then I would need a visa. Finally, I could go to the airport and buy a ticket, and then I could fly wherever I wanted to go. I had gotten my passport, and apparently going to Hong Kong didn't require a visa. All I needed was a plane ticket.
What? Really?
Uncle Depp and I had headed out this morning before the sun even came out. He had been driving me through the mountains for 6 hours to get to the international airport. He then stuffed a couple of warm burritos wrapped up in paper into my backpack before I said goodbye. I didn't know when I would ever see him again. I already missed him. I walked into the airport, and I couldn't help slowing down in admiration. The place was so big. No wonder the tickets were so expensive. I needed to ask someone to tell me where I could buy a ticket. I bumped into another man. The 3 boxes he was carrying all fell to the ground. I helped him pick up the boxes and stack them. I hope nothing inside got broken. The man was wearing a pair of glasses with golden frames. He seemed like a nice person. He took the boxes out of my hands and was not mad at me at all. He just nodded and walked away. He really was nice. Even though there were signs in the airport, I couldn't read many of them. I walked around twice before I found the ticket counters. A ticket cost me 10,000 pesos, just like Uncle Depp had told me. I had all my savings with me, including the money my parents and sister had left me, as well as what I had earned during part-time jobs. It was only a little over 20,000 pesos altogether. However, something terrible had happened. I couldn't find my wallet anywhere. I clearly remember checking to make sure that I had it when I left. Maybe I had dropped it in Uncle Depp's car? I ran outside the airport. I saw the man whom I had bumped into earlier. He was still wandering around with those 3 boxes. Was he lost? But I didn't have time to worry about him. I had to go check and see if Uncle Depp had already left. Couldn't find him anywhere outside the airport. He probably had headed back. I had to walk toward the mountains along the road that we had arrived on. I had my backpack on, feeling awful. It wasn't a popular road, and it was already too late. There were no other cars in sight. I had hoped that I could get a ride tomorrow morning. Lord, why was I so unlucky?
What is Mexico? It's a big country in the west. West? To our west? Do we live in the east? Oh no, of course not. We don't live in their world. So there is no east or west to anywhere. The Earth is a round planet, so east or west is all relative.
Relative? You're not making any sense. Do you mean that the Mexican people would say that their own country is the West too?
Now she's confusing me too.
Oh, by the way, the writers of the earlier letters, are they from China? I always feel a strange sense of closeness when I think of China. Mexico feels more distant to me. Why is that?
Well, maybe it's just because there are more people who wrote to us from China. I hear that Chinese people are all over the earth. There are a lot of them in every country.
Really? So is this letter written in Chinese too? As well as the earlier ones? Because they all look the same to me.
Oh no, this is our language. In fact, the people who wrote to us came from many different countries, and they would use different languages. But once we receive them, they're all automatically translated into a language that we can understand.
Oh wow, being a god is so convenient.
Carlos.
He dropped his wallet.
Oh god.
My name is Chang Yumin, and I recently graduated from the Korean Police Academy. Ooh, I'm 23 years old.
It was my first day reporting to the Busan Police Precinct, but I hadn't realized I had overslept until my Sir Spotty alarm clock had gone off for the 10th time. I jumped out of bed, slipped into my pants and shirt, and rushed out of the door with my coat in my hand. I even knocked over my neighbor's flowers by accident. Sorry. I'll clean it up later. I'm running late. Still, I was 45 minutes late when I finally got to the station. The captain was sitting behind the desk. He squeezed kids these days out of his mouth. And then he seemed to lose any energy or interest to even speak to me. Then I was transferred to the archives.
Whew. As computers and the internet become prevalent in our daily lives, important data such as identity and residence information have all been turned into electronic records in a police database. The ability to quickly retrieve necessary information from an infinite ocean of data is a crucial quality of being a responsible police officer, especially when dealing with time-sensitive criminal cases. P.S. Do not stick your password under the desk. Oof.
How could I have overslept on my first day? Please, Buddha. Please help me fix this. Please, please. Becoming a member of the Criminal Investigation Department has been my dream growing up. I don't want to go to the archives.
What is a criminal investigation? Is it that much better than archives?
Well, criminal investigation is the place where the police try to solve cases and catch bad guys. We can't completely disregard the archives either.
Chang Yo-min. Wait, how does this go with this letter? I bumped into another man. I'm reading these. Still, I was 40 minutes and finally arrived to the station. Becoming... What if... I'll make him late though. Okay, I guess I give it to him then.
Teehee.
I noticed there was a sign ahead. Although I couldn't read it, I had a feeling that it must be pointing to the tickets counters. I had always had great instincts. A ticket cost over 10,000 pesos, just like Uncle Depp had told me. I had all my savings with me, including the money my parents and sister had left me, as well as what I had earned doing part-time jobs. It was only a little over 20,000 pesos altogether. I hoped I would be able to come back someday. 3 hours later, with a booming noise, the airplane took off. I felt something suddenly push me into the seat cushion. I could see Mexico City becoming smaller and smaller outside the window. And the orphanage in Montilalak? I don't know. Had turned into a small white dot. I suddenly started to feel nervous. What if the plane went down? I hoped it would fall in the ocean so I could still swim back with the seatbelt thing that was so annoying. But with the seatbelt thing that was so annoying, if I could untie it, it would... Hold up. This sentence. What if the plane went down? Dot. I hoped it would fall in the ocean so I could still swim back. But the seatbelt was so annoying. If I couldn't untie it, it would drag me into the water with the plane. I heard there was something called insurance that would pay a lot of money if someone died. Dot. Maybe it would be enough for Alicia to buy a new house in Mexico City. Oof. Just when my brain was spinning with all those questions, a beautiful lady asked if I would like some water. Oh, no. I checked my wallet again. There was only a little over 10,000 pesos left. From now on, I must be careful about spending every single one of them. Pesos!
The peso is a currency that is common in countries and regions of former Spanish colonies. The most widely circulated one right now is the Mexican peso, coded MXN. In addition, there are also Cuban pesos, CUP, and Philippine pesos, PHP. Since the Mexican peso is not considered a world currency, in some regions around the world, it has to be exchanged into US dollar before being exchanged into the currency of a third country.
I heard everything was really expensive in Hong Kong. I must save up before I find Alicia, sister, I'm coming to find you. The Lord will bless us. Oof. I heard the voice of a woman screaming in the crowd. Stop him, he's got my purse. I looked down and the man I had bumped into was holding a woman's purse. He actually tried pushing me away. As a policeman defending justice, how could I let a criminal escape the judgment of the law? I grabbed his collar. Take this. I took the bastard to the police station. I ended up late, of course, but the captain let me off the hook for stopping the robber. Captain Gong glanced at the blood stains on my shirt, gave a faint smile, and asked me why I wanted to become a police officer. Oof. I stood up straight, put my hands behind my back, held my head high, and replied firmly, to defend justice. The captain scratched his balding head and smiled. Haha. Go report to Unit 4 then. What? Unit 4. I felt my heart suddenly sinking. I had heard so many rumors about Unit 4, even when I was still in the police academy. Oof, thank God.
Ooh, did I get more? More mail!
Porque siempre me pasa esto.
Cheat.
Natasha.
Tom, it's all my fault. What?
Let's see what this is all about. Strange teacher. Oh my, no, Nico. You're gonna be hit by the energy. The last class of the day was art. I pushed open the door to the classroom and I was shocked by what I saw. What was happening? The room that usually had only a dozen people in it was now almost full. It was like a scene from a beach in the middle of summer. There wouldn't be enough easels for everyone. Just when I was wondering whether I should leave or go study, I saw Jing waving me over from the front row. Why are there so many people today? I sat down on the seat Jing had saved for me.
You really don't know anything, do you? Miss Liu is on her maternity leave, so we have a new substitute today. Somebody saw him earlier in the office and posted his pictures on the school BBS. He looked so handsome.
I looked around, and only then did I realize that almost all the newcomers were girls. Why was Rocky here? What was a boy doing here? I took my phone out and tried to log in the BBS. I found myself unknowingly imagining what the new handsome teacher would look like while waiting for the page to load. Well-made pink shirt, rolled up sleeves, top button unbuttoned, pale and flawless skin, impeccable face from the side. The Wi-Fi signal wasn't too good, and I couldn't log in for a long time. Then the front door of the room was slowly pushed open. With everyone staring at him, the new teacher slowly walked across to the podium and softly wrote down his name on the blackboard. Wen Zhaoren.
Oh god. I'll be teaching the art class for the seniors, starting today.
I looked him up and down, and I noticed that this Mr. Wen was wearing flip-flops to class. His ensemble also included a pair of casual pants with the legs rolled up, a gray t-shirt, and a wrinkled jacket. Not just that, his chin suggested that he hadn't shaved for days. I turned to my side and whispered to Jing, "How is this old man handsome?" Jing ignored me. I looked up and realized that the teacher was staring right at me. Oh no, he must have overheard me. Suddenly, Rocky raised his hand and asked loudly,
Mr. Wen, how old are you? And do you have a girlfriend?
The entire class erupted into a loud murmur. Everyone was staring at the teacher even more intensely. Well, thank you, Rocky, for getting me out of trouble. Mr. Wen slowly took off his jacket and laid it on the back of the chair next to him.
Oh god. 35.
The girls immediately began whispering to each other. His response certainly had intrigued everyone even more. Rocky, however, didn't seem to be satisfied with the answer. Mr. Wen ignored the commotion in the room and took a banana-shaped statue out of the accessory cabinet. People with an easel began to prepare their paper. The ones without one took out their sketching pads. The class was going to be over soon. Near the end of the class, Mr. Wen said he would like to pick an assistant from the class. Anybody who was interested could stand up and nominate him or herself. However, he would need to check his or her sketchbook. Jing stood up. How brave. Mr. Wen walked over and picked up the sketch. He shook his head and tore it into two halves. Rocky stood up from his seat. I stood up from my seat too. And then the bell rang. Jing was sobbing. I was completely in shock too. Not only did Mr. Wen tear up her sketch, he even said to her,
Are you serious? Did you seriously just draw something like that? I will not tolerate this kind of thing in my class.
We were just some regular high school students. We were not in art school. Are you serious? Rocky jumped right in front of the teacher. I tried to stop him, but it was too late. Rocky punched Mr. Wen right in the face. Mr. Wen, however, didn't react, despite having just been hit by a student. He simply gave Rocky a glance and walked out of the room without saying a word. Rocky, he was always so self-righteous. The only thing more important to his life might be his ball games. I bet if the bell had rung and the class had been over, he wouldn't have bothered. I would have gone off to play basketball. After that, Mr. Wen never came back to class. Maybe somebody filed a complaint about him, or maybe... I had always had a feeling that he didn't look like he wanted to be a teacher. The next art teacher always dressed impeccably well. He was also incredibly dull. Lei Wen.
Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do.
Walked over. Maybe this will be better. I'll do this. Sacrifice her! Taraki sketched and said, why don't you bring the Mr. Wen tore up Rocky's sketch and said, why don't you bring the... Oh god. This to the class next time so everyone can practice with it. Rocky's face suddenly turned into the brightest red I had ever seen. A minute ago, he had been acting like the king of the world. What did he draw exactly? He punched Mr. Wen right in the face. Mr. Wen, however, didn't have any reaction despite just being hit by a student. He simply gave Rocky a glance, put down my sketch, and walked out of the room without saying a word. Huh. Or maybe... Okay, this is right. Okay, let me retry that. Okay. Tore up my sketch and he even said to me, I will not tolerate this kind of thing in my class. Jing was frightened and she sat back down. I was in complete shock and my nose started to feel stuffy. Was that really necessary? You idiot. Rocky loudly jeered. That bastard. I made a face at him. No, I want a better score. Rank B. Not the best, not the best. Okay. Would that be better? Nope, that's still bad. I was frightened. No, there has to be a better one. Mr. Wen walked over. It's just this part is the worst. Okay. Nope. Jing was sobbing and I was completely in shock. Are you serious? She said, She's a regular high school student, we're not. Yep. Boring. Picked up his basketball from under his seat, casually walked out of the classroom and disappeared into the class into the after class crowd that was filling up the hallway. Other people were leaving as well while talking with each other about what had just happened. Nobody ever mentioned picking an assistant ever again either. I walked with Jing on the track field and told her dozens of jokes until she finally felt a little better. That old man. Not only did he dress terribly, his temper was even worse. How could the school hire such a person to be a teacher? I feel like it could be better. How brave. How about this? How about this? This has to be the better one. Jing was sobbing and I was completely in shock too. Yep, he even said to her, are you serious? I'll tolerate this in my head. Seeing Jing cry like that, I couldn't control my anger. Mr. Wen, you're out of line. You need to apologize to Jing. Mr. Wen gave me a glance and picked up my sketch. Boring. Rocky picked up his basketball from under his seat, casually walked out of the classroom and disappeared into the after-class crowd that was filling the hallway. Other people were leaving as well. There were fewer and fewer people left in the classroom. I collected my stuff into my backpack, getting ready to leave.
You stay and clean up the room.
What? I stopped what I was doing and looked to Mr. Wen in disbelief. He handed my sketch back to me.
After all, you're my assistant for this course now.
He turned away and walked back to the front of the classroom, and I just realized that everyone who was still in the room was staring at me. Everyone looked like they were gawking at a circus monkey on the street. What the hell? I had no intention of being a freaking assistant to that guy. Jing put her arm around my shoulder. Congratulations! Let me buy you dinner sometime, you poor kid. I burst out laughing. Well, whatever. Yay! I did it. Shit, that took forever.
New mail. Click.
这都是我的错。
Oh, it's all my fault.
有没有搞错？
What? Okay, let's go up here. My sister, and then kidnapping. Huh.
Hong Kong was different than what I had imagined. Back in Mexico, everything was so colorful. But Hong Kong was just gray. Gray streets, gray buildings, gray store signs, and gray homeless people. And there was me, sitting in the middle of them, looking odd. I never knew that pesos couldn't be exchanged into Hong Kong dollars here. When I woke up, I found a few more coins by my feet. I had to take them. I must survive. None of the homeless people seemed to like me very much. Perhaps because they could only get about half as many coins as I could. I had my big sister named Alicia. She was 9 years older than me. We both grew up in the orphanage in Martillac. Whatever.
Monte!
It was a really rural place. You had to travel 4 kilometers to get to the nearest town, Quetepec, just to make a phone call.
Okay. See ya, Nico.
I couldn't remember anything about my own parents. My big sister was the only one I had in this world. 9 years ago, Alicia had left Mexico to make more money. She used to write me letters every few months. Every time the mailman came, I would be so excited to see if there was an envelope with my name on it. Even though I couldn't read much, Auntie Benita would always read them to me. Alicia didn't seem to have the easiest time, but she had seen so much of the outside world, and by reading her letters, I felt like I got to see what Alicia had seen as well. I could almost feel like I was right there with her in the big, new, interesting, and fascinating world that we had never seen before. However, we had stopped hearing about her about a year ago. Her last letter had come from Hong Kong, so I had asked Uncle Deb to find a tutor for me who could teach me how to read and speak a little of the local language. I had worked so hard to make more money for the trip. I had done all of this just so I could come to Hong Kong, even though I wasn't sure if she was still in the city. Still, even if there was just the tiniest hope, I would never give up. I must find my sister to make sure that she was okay. I had arrived at Pitt Street. Pitt Street had been on the postmark of Alicia's last letter. Maybe someone nearby might have seen her. Before I left, Auntie Benita had given me an old cell phone. I pulled up a picture of Alicia on my phone. I held up the phone, asking people door to door if they had seen my sister. I couldn't tell if they simply couldn't understand me. They would wave their hands at me every time before I had barely spoken. Almost halfway through the street, I found myself behind a huge crowd of people. Thick, dark smoke was coming out of the building nearby. People were shoving and running out of it. More and more people started to gather by the street. Many of them were even taking pictures with their phones. The fire truck finally arrived. My cell phone suddenly rang. My cell phone fell to the ground. My cell phone was vibrating on the ground. Then it fell through the storm drain. No. and the sewer water was flowing rapidly in the drain. I held onto the drain and tried my best to look down. Maybe the phone was stuck somewhere. I looked for a long time, even tried to reach in with my hand, but I couldn't get it. I was so tired, disappointed, and desperate. I couldn't pretend anymore, and I fell to the ground feeling like shit. And that cell phone was the most valuable thing I had. It had the only picture of my sister on it. Lord, please help me. I really didn't know if I could ever find my big sister without it. Carlos.
Next letter.
Oh god. The office wing of Criminal Investigation Unit 4 looked like a small warehouse that hadn't been organized in forever. It was crowded and messy in the first place. And almost every desk had stacks of files that were at least 20 centimeters tall, as well as all kinds of evidence and other random items. I stood up straight and gave a salute. Shang Gyeon-min reporting for duty at Unit 4. There were only 2 other persons there besides me. One of them was wiping down his rifle. He looked at me with a strange, examining look on his face. The other one had dark circles around his eyes, which made him look like he hadn't slept for days. He was looking over some files. Judging from his seat, this must be the infamous lieutenant of Unit 4, Kang Byakya. Lieutenant Kang gave me a glance with a half-smoked cigarette in his mouth, and he mumbled, "You, over here." I followed the direction of his look and saw the desk that he seemed to be referring to. Many old bags from McDonald's, were stacked on top of it, all filled with leftovers and trash. It was also directly opposite of the bathroom, facing it. It was okay, as long as I had somewhere to sit. I was about to ask Lieutenant King what I should do next when the phone on his desk rang. He put the phone down and announced to us that there was a gang-related hostage situation 2 blocks away from here. I never thought my opportunity to defend justice would arrive so soon. Lieutenant Kang put out his cigarette in an ashtray and stood up. I followed him. He grabbed his coat and asked, Hey, new guy, have you got your gun?" "My gun? No, not yet." "Then where do you think you were going?" "Stay by the phone, take notes if anything comes up. Don't speak too much." I can still help without a gun. As a policeman, I swore to defend justice to prevent all offenses against people and property. Justice. Lieutenant Kang burst out into laughter before I could finish my sentence. "You think justice is going to block a bullet from hitting you? Well, kid, I've seen plenty of idiots like you. In my unit, there is only one rule you need to remember at all times, which is to follow the orders." That wasn't what I meant at all. I was just trying to help. First day on the job and I was already having such a misunderstanding with my lieutenant. Before I could explain myself, Lieutenant Kang continued. "If you have any problems with staying by the phone, you could just go home. And don't bother coming back tomorrow either. I'll let the old man know." After they left, I sat down on my seat opposite the bathroom. As my nose was catching glimpses of the faint, stinky smell, I let out a defeated sigh. When I had been in the police academy, people would always have an understanding smile on their face whenever Unit 4 was brought up. Everybody had heard about all kinds of rumors about this place. Lieutenant Kang was the infamous dictator of the Criminal Investigation Department. Everyone must follow his orders without questions. He had a peculiar personality, and he was extremely rough, even cruel with the criminals. Besides, Lieutenant Kang was a lot younger than the other unit's lieutenants. Therefore, many people speculated that Lieutenant Kang had only gotten his position because of nepotism. As a result, no rookies ever wanted to join Unit 4. As for the unit that everyone dreamt about getting into, that would be Unit 1. Unit 1 had over 30 offices, and it was widely considered to be the best unit in the department. Yet here I was assigned to Unit 4. I was sulking when the phone rang again.
There was another hostage case in Baekhyang-dong. Oof. Since no one in Unit 4 was available, I suppose this was my time to shine. Oh no, I hurried to the scene in 10 minutes. It's a 10-story apartment building. I could vaguely see two people on the ledge of the rooftop. People told me that they were a married couple. But the husband had borrowed too much money from the loan sharks and couldn't pay them back. That was why he wanted to jump off the building, and he had forced his wife up there with him. Well, let's see how I, Shang Young-min, would brilliantly solve this crisis. One of his feet was already at the edge of the ledge. He was holding a knife against the frightened wife's neck. I walked over there. Stop, I'm telling you to stop. He got riled up and his right foot missed the ledge. He fell over the edge and dragged his wife with him. Wait, no! Before I even had a chance to talk him down, both of them disappeared out of my sight. It was a terrible scene at the bottom of the building. Even though I was 10 floors above the ground, I felt that I could still smell the blood. It almost made me sick. I stood there in shock for the first time. I finally recognized what it felt like to be a real policeman. Oh God. What the hell have I done? Could it be any more stupid? Please, Buddha. Please let me have another chance. Please.
Shang Myungmin. Yeah.
Clue. It's information. It's not important information. Okay, let's start this. Let's see how this is gonna go. Isn't it? I walked over there and my cell phone suddenly rang. No, because then I don't want the building to burn. One of his feet was already at the ledge. He was holding a knife. Fire truck arrived. My cell phone rang. Maybe? Try to talk some sense into him. I told him that one could always earn the money back. I said he still had his wife's full support, so he shouldn't give up just yet. I even tried asking if he would like some dulcet bimbap for dinner. Bimbap. But none of these techniques I had learned from the academy worked. The standoff kept going. The wife was clearly physically exhausted, and then she looked like she was mentally drained too. Honey, if you want to die so much, let me go with you then. I hope we could both be happy in our next lives. She grabbed the knife on her neck and cut her throat open. Blood was gushing out. Then she collapsed onto the ground that had been colored red by her own blood. The man's face was covered with blood. He seemed to have lost the ability to talk. He slowly knelt down and took the knife out of the woman's hands. It looked like he had completely lost his mind. Couldn't let it happen a second time. I sprinted ahead a few steps and kicked the knife out of his hand. I pinned the man down on the ground. He looked at his wife's body, which was only half a meter away and slowly losing its warmth. Then he wept. Neither of us had expected the situation to turn out like that. I was suspended due to the serious consequences caused by my reckless, unauthorized actions. Fire trucks hadn't arrived yet. There was a total chaos in front of the building. Burning building. More and more injured people were being carried out of the building. The man in the black trench coat seemed to have summoned a lot of people to help put out the fire. I wasn't injured and I had all my limbs. I should go help too. I walked toward the man. Excuse me, I would like to... A huge man in a black suit appeared in front of me and blocked my sight. The suit guy seemed like twice my size. He looked down upon me and I could see a deep scar on his face. Help. I swelled anxiously and I had no idea what to say next. The suit guy held up his hand and pointed to somewhere behind me. A truck full of fire extinguishers had arrived. The fire was finally put out by sunset. I sat on the stairs at the bottom of the building, exhausted. I was covered with dust and ash from head to toe. All of the injured people had been sent to the hospital. The man leading the team had already left. My stomach began rumbling. Man, if only I could get a free meal for helping out put out the fire. Okay, let's retry this. Let's try this. What if the cell phone never rang, but I walked over there and did all that stuff? The phone kept ringing. Who the hell would be calling me at this godforsaken moment? I was about to bend over and pick it up. He waved the wife loudly at me. Don't move, don't answer your phone. His wife saw the chance as the knife had left her neck, and she bit his left wrist so as hard as she could. He dropped the knife out of pain. Then she ran over and hid behind me before he could pick it back up. The man suddenly began wailing like a child. Sue, even you are abandoning me. Fine, I'll just go by myself. He raised his knife and cut his own throat open. I didn't even have time to react. I was subject to the serious consequences caused by my reckless or unauthorized actions. It's total chaos in front of the burning building. Fire hoses to the fire department taking charge of the situation. I walked up to the fireman nearby and asked if there was anything I could do to help. Foreigner, he asked as he looked at me. You really shouldn't be here. If we don't put out this fire today, we'll be dying 1,000 deaths. He saw a confusing look and added, You are new here. This is the headquarters of the Black Dragon Gang, the most powerful gang in this area. Yes, gang, bad people. There are gangs in your country, right? So stay far away from here. Leave. Just go back. Just go get some soda or something. Black Dragon Gang.
First established by Lin Dexu, the Black Dragon Gang was gradually became the largest local gang organization in Hong Kong. The gang itself is almost inseparable from the business under the Lin Co. umbrella. Its reach includes drugs, firearms, underground gambling, and so on. It used to be one of the two major gangs on the island, along with the Blood Gang, whose motto is blood for blood. However, it quickly grew to 3 times the size of its rival after getting into the drug smuggling business. Nonetheless, lots of young people still choose the Blood Gang because of its emphasis on loyalty. Damn, that's even worse. Okay, hold up. What if you walked over there? Done this, but to bend over and pick it up. Not let's have it fall. This might be interesting. Hold up. Conversation. I turned around and answered the phone quietly. It was from the station. They told me something important had happened to the unit, and I must get back as soon as possible and await further instructions. I hung up the phone and turned around only to realize the couple had disappeared from the ledge. Shit. Yup, okay. What have I done? Could I be any more stupid? It's a total chaos in front of the burning building. Fire trucks, firemen, fire horses. And I was about to ask if there was anything I could do to help, but before I opened my mouth, another fireman quickly ran past me and knocked the phone out of my hand. Another one behind me immediately stepped on the phone. The screen cracked into 2 pieces. No! Pick up the phone for me. Foreigner, let's just stay here. Dying 1,000 deaths. Take your phone and get out of here. I can't seem to get it to work no matter how hard I try. Am I too stupid? It's not your fault. Something seems to be tied up over there with Kang Baekya. Once you solve the problem over there, it might impact this one too. Huh? Is that a thing too? Occasionally, we might not be able to solve the current case because of something happened somewhere else. Whenever this occurs, you will see orange text in the letters. The appearance of orange text typically means that you will need to consult another letter to handle the current one. So basically, if I see orange text in a letter, I should go check on some other letters first, right? Correct. Sometimes you might need to handle the other letters first. Other times it might just mean that you need to look for clues in other letters. In either case, it really depends on the letters, and you'll have to use your own judgment. This doesn't happen too often, but if you do encounter them, make sure you take advantage of the hints in the letters to help you. Got it. I'll go read the letter from Kangbakya's first then. You might have already noticed that every time you open a letter, you can see a number of small colored squares here. Oh yes, what are those? The small squares can be one of those of 3 colors, yellow, pink, and gray. Some of them are solid, while some of them are empty. These squares represent all the possible endings for the events described in a specific letter. The solid ones stand for the endings that you have discovered, while the empty ones are the endings that you have yet to discover. Of the solid squares, the yellow one marks the selected ending that you have chosen at the moment, which means the yellow square could only be solid and never be empty. The solid pink squares, on the other hand, represent the endings that you have discovered, but are not selected at the moment. The pink squares are the endings you have not discovered yet. Pink empty ones. All those squares are strictly arranged in order. S, A, B, C, D, E, F, X. Which could be a helpful reference when you are making your decisions. What about the gray squares? Gray squares may either be solid or empty, but they are less common. Sometimes the development of certain events may be impacted by other people and things. For instance, this incident with Chang Kyung-min was affected by the incident of Kang Bakya's side. That's why there's a gray square here. A gray square means that under current conditions, the probability of this potential ending happening is 0. Or in layman's terms, it cannot happen. Once we solve the related pending problem, the square will no longer be gray, meaning that it is now possible for us to reach this ending. Meanwhile, a previous ending that we have reached will now turn gray instead. Confused. I understand it is very confusing when I explain it to you like this. However, I believe once you are done with Chang Youngmin's story, you will figure out how it works. Got it. I'll give it a shot.
What's also safe?
God, that's so confusing. There's something else I'm missing then. Oof. Just zoom back in.
Dios, ¿qué hice mal?
What have I done?
하느님, 저를 용서해 주소서.
Bastards. Okay, let's do this. Oh. That's connected somehow. Heavenly Father's guidance. My name is Alicia. I'm 18 years old. I was born and raised in Mexico. I have a younger brother named Carlos, who is 9 years younger than me. He is the only family I have left. We're both orphans. The orphanage was so poor that they couldn't afford to send us to school. I had to come out and make some money so I could keep my brother in school. If I can make more money, maybe we could eventually move out of the orphanage and start a new life, just the 2 of us. I heard that America was a place full of chances for everyone. That was where I should go then. A travel agency inside Mexico City had told me that crossing the desert, stowing away on a train, or getting across the Rio Bravo were all risky, very risky and dangerous. Therefore, they had established a route via the ocean. Even though it would be slightly more expensive, it was guaranteed to be safe, and everyone who had taken this route had gotten into America. I spent the money I had saved for months and bought myself a ship ticket. There were several other young girls with me on the ship. We were locked inside a small room, and were not allowed to go out. At first, we thought it was just so people couldn't find us being smuggled across the border. But it had taken so long. We must have arrived by now. Half a month had passed, and we were still at sea. We were finally certain that we had been conned. After about a month, the ship finally arrived at port. We were then moved to a building near the port where the guards watched us. Where were we now? Which country was this? Were we going to be sold? As slaves? Or prostitutes? I crouched in the corner with my mind running wild. Every once in a while, a guard would come in and take a sobbing girl out. There were fewer and fewer people left in the room. Finally, there was only me and another girl named Julie left. Julie suddenly stood up and tried to hit the guard at the door facing us. She was holding a rock in her hand, but she didn't succeed. The rock fell to the ground and her arm was grabbed so tightly by the guard that it looked like it was about to snap. Whew. She looked at me with a pleading look in her eyes. I really wanted to help her, but I didn't want to be sold either. I was too scared. The guard had a gun. Everyone outside had a gun. Julie lowered her head. When she lifted it back up, the guard was screaming like a pig being slaughtered. Half of his missing ear was in Julie's mouth. Then I heard a few gunshots, along with her loud cursing. Julie fell down and stopped moving. Her eyes were open so wide, as if she had just come out of a nightmare. The injured guard slammed the door angrily, with one hand covering his ear. Soon another person came in. This one seemed to be nicer. He had half a bottle of beer with him. He sat down at the door, looked at me, and then looked at Julie, who was lying in her own blood. He didn't seem to care about what had happened at all. An hour later, his bottle was empty. He had fallen asleep in the chair. It was pretty late. Maybe I wouldn't be taken away until tomorrow. I looked at Julie again, and remember what she had told me there on the ocean. I want to be a singer in America. I want to be a star. She wasn't bragging. She had a beautiful voice. She had also said, I know if I do my best, my dreams will come true. I would never forget the look on her face when she said it. Her eyes had been filled with hope and anticipation for the future. I was very jealous of how lively and full of joy Julie was. The guard turned a little in the chair, and his gun dropped from his waist, sliding towards my feet. Was it a hint from the Lord? I reached out for the gun, but I jerked my hand back like I had been shocked when I touched it. No, I couldn't. What if I ended up like Julie? I held the cross tight in front of my chest and started praying. Oh, Heavenly Father, Jesus said, ask and you shall receive. We trust that you know what our true needs are. You recognize what our true feelings are. You understand what our situations we are in. Now we shall ask for what our heart truly desires. Oh God, give heed to my prayer. Show us your mercy. Amen. 5 minutes passed. 10 minutes passed. 30 minutes passed. The guard began snoring. The gun was right next to my hand. Maybe this really had been a hint from the Lord. I really picked up the gun in hesitation. It felt so heavy in my hand. Mom, Dad, please bless me. Carlos, please bless me. Heavenly Father, please bless me. I pushed the door open. There was no one in the hallway outside. It was so quiet. The only thing I could hear was my own heartbeat beating wildly in my chest. The building had only one floor. After taking one turn, I could see the main gate. There were several guards at the gate too. All of them had guns. There was a black man and 2 Asians. The rest had all pale skin. How could I get out with just one handgun? I checked the gun in my hand once more. There was no bullets in the gun. There were no bullets? I collapsed on the floor. I was not feeling afraid anymore. I just felt utter desperation. Soon the guards noticed me and dragged me back into the room. This time, they cuffed up my feet so I wouldn't be able to escape again. Julie's body was still lying there. Flies began hovering around her face, but they didn't seem to have any intention to clean up the scene. Would I end up like Julie? Was this my final destiny? Heavenly Father, please answer me. Alicia. There's like nothing I can change here. Except for the part there was no bullets.
My name is Ken Bekia. I'm a cop. I had been doing this for 7 years. Maybe 8. I can't really remember. Today, the old man assigned another newbie into my unit. He had always wanted my unit to become as big as Unit 1. Why did I need so many people? Detective work wasn't like the street fighting. I had a headache whenever I pictured the image of so many people in the unit, passing their lunches over their heads during lunch break. And this newbie today was full of that kind of fighting for justice crap. Lunatic. Well, screw it. Whatever. I was just going to wait for a few days, and I would find an excuse to send him over to Unit 1. Everyone would be happy then. We were always very busy. The files for the open cases had been stacking up like small hills. Among all the police precincts in the entire Republic of Korea, Busan might be one of the top 5 busiest precincts thanks to the violent gangs in this area. The Musan gang and the Bungman gang.
Let's see, Busan. The biggest violent gang in the Busan region. It mostly deals with drugs and arms trafficking. There are 4 groups within the gang. The Taesyeon group, the Yuseong group, the Ganbang group, and the Eunwoo group. Their boss's most famous saying was, as long as you're still breathing, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you wanna do. Yep.
These 2 gangs never made our lives easy. Recently, the old boss of the Musan gang had been severely ill. His underlings were all itching to become the successor. There were at least a dozen people killed in the infighting every day. If I kept saving up my vacation days like this, I'd probably have enough to plan for my next trip to be on the moon. The case today was an annoying one, too. It was a hostage case, but the kidnapper and the hostages belonged to the same gang. It was a so-called family matter. What was worse was the kidnapper was someone quite important to the Musan gang. The old man always told us to keep things easy so as to avoid direct confrontation with the gangs. He had told me again today, multiple times, to bring the kidnapper in without hurting anyone. Without hurting anyone. If he had really wanted that, he would not have assigned the case to me. I was crawling in a narrow air vent duct. I could hear breathing sounds all around me, both loud and quiet, as well as the sound of the fans. The air smelled disgusting. I pulled my collar loose a little bit. Fuck this, I'd rather climb up from the outside of the building with my bare hands than suffocate inside this goddamn tube. Why couldn't I just walk in from the door and pop 2 shots into his head? I had finally arrived at the top of the room. The voices coming from below sounded very weird through the vent. You stay there, and don't fucking move. All of you. Don't move. The target was sitting on a couch at the other end of the room. He kept waving the gun in his hand around and pointing it to the other one's head every once in a while. Those poor bastards were all his underlings. None of them even dared to look up. I had seen lots of junkies that would get so high that they wouldn't recognize their own mother. Still, the scene right below me was so unusually funny that I almost chuckled. The area below the vent was right in front of the view of the bay window. Anyone could easily see inside the room from across the street through that window. My task today was to lure him over. I got closer to the vent, trying to observe the situation more closely. Clang. A loud noise came from somewhere. Don't move, I heard a man's voice. A bullet flew out without me seeing it.
The nails fastening the vent register had been shattered by the bullet, and had bounced off a few meters away into a corner. After a tumble and a half, I fell and smashed into the white carpet along with the vent and register. 5 meters away, the junkie was holding his gun with a shocked expression on his face, and smoke was still coming out of the dark, shaking barrel of the gun. Near my shoulder, my shirt had turned from its original red to another kind of red, and the colored patch kept getting larger. You've let yourself get hurt again, idiot. A voice that I couldn't be more familiar with appeared in my head once again, while also sounding like it was coming from out of this world. Oh crap. I had come back to this room again. The room was extremely dark. There was no furniture inside except for the light bulb hanging from the center of the ceiling. A slightly shorter person walked out from the dark corner reluctantly. His hair was all messed up, and his eyes didn't even look alive. As soon as he pushed me away from underneath the light, a mysterious force dragged me into the corner, and I was swallowed by darkness. Whenever I was in danger, the sky would come out against my will. But at a moment like this, well shit, what a shitty day. Whoever stood under the light would have control of the body. From this moment on, I was no longer in command of my own body. I managed to dodge all the flying bullets coming toward me with extreme agility and human postures. When I got back on my feet, I somehow had a gun in my hand. The 13 9mm bullets in the magazine were fired like a machine gun. Each one of them went through his head. Broken eyeballs splashed all over the barely recognizable face of the junkie. Everything was a terrible mess. The junkie had collapsed to the floor like a pile of mud, but now the gun was aimed at his henchmen. They were still all tied up. Things were taking an ugly turn. 1 bullet, 1 life, no waste. But I hesitated when the gun pointed at a muscular guy with a tattooed head. The muscular guy suddenly swept me at my ankle with his leg. I lost my balance, knocked my head on the short table, and passed out. When I woke up, I was lying in the hospital with tubes coming out all over my body. Minjun was sitting next to me, sound asleep. 8 deaths, as per usual. I had to write 1,000 words for each death in the report, which meant I needed to write 8,000 words. Oof. Moreover, the target this time was not just a regular punk. His father was the leader of Gangmung group within the Muson gang, Choya Han. That would mean another 4,000 words at least. Gosh, my head hurts so much. Sweet Jesus, give me a break, please.
Wow. It was almost like I was watching an action film. If only I had some popcorn. Don't ruin this solemn mood by suddenly thinking about popcorn. Okay, sorry. There is no popcorn here. But we do have some osmanthus cakes. Oh, that's great too. I'm not very picky. So, if I want to eat cakes while watching a movie... Oh no, I mean, while working... Is there any way I could do it hands-free? These letters are not like the regular letters that I can just read in front of me. I have to follow the thoughts of the writer by confirming it sentence by sentence. Stupid, lazy girl. Although, there is indeed a way. If you want to free your hands to eat or do something else, all you need is hit A. Then the letters will enter autoplay mode. Furthermore, if you want to read it faster while you are not eating, you can activate the skip text option in the options menu. Afterwards, every click will reveal an entire line of text immediately. All these tips have been archived within the help menu, which will be periodically updated as we go along, too. If you run into any questions, don't forget to check the information there. I got it.
Come back here. Well, this is gonna be interesting. I know what we need to do. seems like the better way.
Where were the bullets?
Wait. I had taken out the magazine yesterday while doing maintenance. I must have forgotten to bring it along earlier. Shit. I must have been too tired recently. My memory was getting really bad. Maybe in a couple of years, I could have Alzheimer's disease.
Alzheimer's disease, also referred to as simply as Alzheimer's, is a chronic neurodegenerative disease that usually starts slowly and worsens over time. Typical symptoms include dementia, problems with language, memory loss, etc. It most often begins in people over 65 years of age. Hence the slang old-timers disease. Its full name was Alzheimer's disease. It is a Well, hello, that's the same thing. How dare you make fun?
I paged Miss Jun through the radio that there was a change of plan and we need to fall back. I heard a loud boom coming through the air duct behind me just as I climbed out of the vent. Only later did I learn that the room with the target had an inexplicable explosion. The investigation afterwards indicated that everyone in that room had been burnt to ashes. There was no survivors. I never imagined that forgetting the magazine would turn out to have saved my life. I suppose today wasn't such a shitty day after all. A bullet that had come from the door hit me in the stomach. I slowly collapsed to the ground with my back against the wall. I could feel warmth slowly leaving my body. The last thing I saw was some people arguing at the door. They were all strangers. Chills rolled down my face. It was true what they said. The people you wanted to see the most in your last moments would be your own family. Damn it, I got her killed. They're all both bad endings. Shit. Retry. Maybe? It might not be a good idea. I actually knocked down a ladder that had been put against the wall. The guard in the room woke up. He stumbled into the hallway, still quite sleepy. I suddenly had an idea. Hands up, don't make a sound or I'll shoot. I pointed the gun at his head. I knew there was no bullet, but maybe he didn't, or maybe he had forgotten. He slowly walked towards me. He grabbed the gun with one hand and took it out of my grasp. Without any hesitation, I was kidding myself. He dragged me back into the room. This time, he cuffed up my hand so I wouldn't be able to escape his skin. Julie's body was still lying there. Flies began hovering around her face. To clean up the scene, would I end up like Julie? Was this my final destiny? Shit. I hit the register and ricocheted. Then it happened to hit my shoulder. Blood was streaming down my arm, dripping onto the vent. Then it dropped onto the carpet of the room below. Wait, what is this? His steps were getting closer. Then he stopped. I didn't need to look. The bastard must be standing right beneath the vent. Soon he would lift his head up, look at me, and notice me. There was the sound of the window glass shattering, and it was the sound of flesh being destroyed. Mission complete. Everything went as planned. Well, almost. Sitting next to the junkie's body, which was missing half of his head. Oh shit. He was supposed to just lose a leg or something. This is a little different from what the old man had demanded. Minjin had rushed over from the building across the street. He dropped to his knees with a thud as soon as he saw me. Sorry, Lieutenant. It was my mistake. I missed. Looked like he hadn't forgotten the last time when he did not follow the plan exactly. I had to write a 200,000 word report. Sorry, if apologizing was good enough, what would we need the cops for then? I checked the junkie's pockets. There was only 50,000 won and a half pack of marbles. I stuffed the money into Munjin's pocket and lit the cigarette for myself. Well, Choi Do-sung, which is the name of the junkie, was just trash in this society, and he deserved to die. After witnessing such a bloody ending, maybe his loser buddies would learn to behave a little too. Yeah, maybe it wasn't too bad after all. I touched Mengjun's head. Don't worry about it. Well done. God, okay, this is... Maybe? Only one gets a good ending. Oh, and they're both bad. No, because they put the same thing in there. Okay. But that ends up being an S. Hmm. How's this gonna be? Nails fastening the vent, register shadowed by the button and bounced off a few minutes to the corner. After a tumble in half, I fell and smashed into the white carpet along with the vent register. 5 meters away, the junkie was pointing his gun at me. He looked really scared and his hand was shaking. Don't you dare move. This was serious. Dropped my gun, held my hands behind my head. Did as he said and sat together with the other hostages. Shit. I know Unit 3 another big favor. Yeah, okay, that's a bad ending. God, okay, you can't get a good ending with that one. I don't think. Maybe this way. Lexi knocked down a ladder. Gotta be someone I'm still quite sleepy. Somebody had an idea. Hands up, don't make a sound. Began sweating. Walk to the gate slowly. Do not speak to them. Do not lower your hands. Do not turn around. Press the gun against the back of his head. He walked slowly towards the gate. My palms were completely wet with sweat. Only I knew I was being more nervous than he. When we were only a few hundred meters from the port, I smashed his head in with the gun as hard as I could and knocked him out. Then I ran away as fast as possible. I didn't dare look back. There were still plenty of people in the street. Many stores were still open, even in the middle of the night. People were shooting me strange looks when I ran past them. They all seemed to be Asians. But I didn't dare stop and talk to them. Chili had been right about one thing. Dreams did come true when you did try your best. I didn't know how long I had to run, but I couldn't take even one more step. I collapsed into a bunch of paper boxes and stacked at the corner of an alley. Oh, I did it! Holy crap! Oh my god, I figured it out. Oh, thank the heavens. I did it!
You have solved Kang Byuk-ya's problem, but don't forget about Chung Young-min's letter from earlier. Oh, alright. It almost slipped my mind. Ugh. There is one more thing that could help with your work. That's history. History? That sounds like something I could use to review all of the endings that I have unlocked, right? Smart girl! Every ending you have come across is archived there. When you run into something that's too complicated, try referring to the history for inspiration.
Okay, history.
Oh, one more thing. I have another small tip to tell you about the history archives. In here, we can browse all possible endings to a letter. And they are displayed on the right. Furthermore, they are all arranged in the same order as the small squares you see when you open a letter. They are arranged in this order: S, A, B, C, D, E, F, X. The ending with one small I is the one you are currently viewing. I see. I didn't
this can help with my deductions too. When the number of endings increase.
Exactly. As for how you want to use it, that's totally up to you.
Jeez. Cell phone suddenly rang. I was about to bend over and pick it up.
Okay.
Analytics I learned from the academy worked. Go back as soon as possible and await further instructions. Something had happened. Okay. And then it fell through the storm drain. I don't want to fall through the storm drain. Over there. Apparently the team had already left. Headquarters of the Black Dragon Gang. Grandma next to me picked up the phone for me. He needs a better ending. Okay. I think I just want to try. Okay. Retry this shit. Okay. Okay, the fire truck arrived. The cell phone would work. Maybe it should be different. Someone quickly ran past me and bumped into my arm. My phone was knocked out of my hand. It stopped at another man's feet. The fire trucks hadn't arrived yet. However, this man in a black trench coat seemed to have summoned a lot of people to help out put out the fire. He picked up my phone with his left hand and saw my sister's picture. Then he asked me in English what my relationship was with her. There was no expression on his face the entire time. After hearing my explanation, he tossed the phone back to me. Then he said, "Come back here tomorrow." "You know my sister?" I walked up to him in excitement, but a huge man in a black suit stopped me. The man in the trench coat looked like he wasn't going to answer any of my questions anymore, and turned his attention back to his men in the fire. The suit guy seemed to like he was twice my size. He looked down upon me, and I could see a deep scar on his face. "Fine, I'll come back tomorrow." "Okay, Tom." Still, I never thought I would find a clue about Alicia about just like this. The Lord must be blessing us. Sister, we should soon meet again. I just knew it. Who the hell would be calling me at this godforsaken moment? I turned around and answered the phone quietly. It was Lieutenant King. Lieutenant briefly asked about the situation, told me to hand the phone over to the husband. It was the Bugnon gang. What? Is it true? Oh my, that's wonderful. Thank you. He hung up the phone, dropped the knife, and hugged his wife, sobbing uncontrollably. "Sue, it's all okay now. We can have our lives back. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. It was all my fault. Wah." What just happened? I took my phone back from the man, confused. A strong gust of wind blew past us, and the man lost his balance. I quickly reacted, took a big step forward, and grabbed him, trying to pull him back. But I was pulled over instead. We fell off the ledge together. The world was spinning. It was 10 floors off the ground. No one would survive it if we hit the ground. I swung my right arm out as hard as I could towards the roof ledge. Something flew out of my coat. It was a white ribbon. I had wrapped around my forearm, a small spearhead tied to its end. The spearhead wrapped around the metal bar on the ledge a few times and tightened the ribbon. It was my secret weapon. I called it my tail. For a moment, I let out a sigh of relief, thinking that we were safe. But the bar couldn't hold our weight and began to bend. I tightened my left fist and grabbed the man's shirt harder. I burned the last drop of my energy inside of me with all the adrenaline I had, and forced every single muscle cell in me to release all of their power. Justice was not something that I only talked about. I threw him up towards the roof. We were quickly moving away from each other in opposite directions. The metal bar finally gave out and it was torn away from the concrete on the ledge. I began falling with it. I could hear the wind gushing in my ears. This is my justice. Damn. The hero. Okay, I think I'm done. Woo, that's crazy. That was really good though. Now we have all these little stories to go to. So many endings.
So much to do. So much to do. Oof. But I'm off for now, my dudes. Goodbye.
Time for me to do other stuff.
Good night, everybody.
If you're still alive.
Good night.
I'll see you all tomorrow.
Wherever you may be. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good evening. Bye bye. See you all tomorrow with another stream. Yeah.
And maybe we could do some spooky streams. Oof, spoopies. Not ready for it. I am done for tonight, even though I really don't want to be, but probably gonna play some Beat Saber and then like die. Go sleep with my muscles aching. I'm gonna save again before I do anything.
Bye bye, everybody. You guys are amazing. Smoochies. Yeah.